last 24 hours. Powered by Yiddish24, provided to you by The Click. Good morning, today is Thursday, it's Tezayin Uda Tufshin Paivuv on Edge. My name is Gershy Schwarcz and I'm your host on Edge. Today's presenters are Shtreimul Renew. Get your Shtreimul Ibigamacht renewed in time for Yom Tov all across the tri-state area. Call or text 732-523-1559. We will talk about him more soon. And Montreal Matzah Bakery, of course, the matzah of the century, my favorite matzah. Now let's talk about the news, shall we? What has been going on? Purim has been, and it's Yom Tov in the Wachen. We are now day 5 amid Operation Epic Fury in Iran. The Americans and Israelis are busy. On Sunday, I broke the news to you here, on Edge, together with Shragi Stern, starting with the killing of the Supreme Leader, Ayatollah Ali Khamenei. So here's an update for you. So, just in case you missed it, and you've been waiting for me. The war started on Shabbos Zucher, early hours of Shabbos morning, when the US and Israel suddenly carried out major airstrikes that killed Iran's leader, Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, along with his 40 friends, 40 members of their leadership in Tehran. Now, new details are coming out about how Israeli intelligence pulled off the strike that killed Iran's supreme leader, Ayatollah Ali Khamenei. Listen to this is fascinating. You will be surprised. A phone call from the Israeli Prime Minister, first of all, to Trump about Khamenei's secret meeting was the key that launched the attack earlier than expected. Reports say the secret weapon was simply the street traffic cameras inside of Iran. This is unbelievable. Years ago, Israeli spies from Assad hacked into almost every traffic camera in the capital city of Tehran. They sent the live video footage, the feeds, back to their servers in their offices in Israel. This is unbelievable because, if you think about it, by watching these cameras, Israeli intelligence learned every single move the Iranian leadership made. They tracked exactly where the bodyguards parked their cars, what time they went to work, where they went to drink their coffee, and exactly who they were protecting. Last Shabbos morning, the cameras exposed a secret meeting. Top Iranian officials were gathering at Khamenei's heavily guarded office compound because Israel was watching the street cameras in real time. They knew exactly when the leaders were all in one room to be ready to strike. Right before dropping the 30 bunker buster bombs, Israel and the United States also shut down the local cell phone towers. This blocked all cell phone calls in the area, so nobody could warn the guards that an attack is imminent. Since then, the United States military has hit Iran hard. Joint Chiefs Chairman General Dan Kane says America has carried out more than 2,000 airstrikes. That was when I reported it. Well, by now it's probably way more. In one dramatic strike, an American submarine fired a torpedo and sank the Iranian warship off the coast of Sri Lanka. The Iranian Navy, according to them, is now completely destroyed, with more than 20 of their ships sunk in the bottom of the sea. We'll hear about them more soon. American B-2 stealth bombers are now moving to the bases in the United Kingdom and Diego Garcia to join the fight. Well, I guess Keir Starmer finally agreed to do so. We spoke about that. The US is also using its new long-range precision strike missiles in combat for the very first time. Trump says we have unlimited supply. Pete Hegseth announced yesterday that the US expects to have total control over the skies, over the Iranian skies, within hours. Probably have it by now. Caroline Levitt also said sending American soldiers to fight inside Iran is an option, but not the current plan. However, there is another report that the US is smuggling weapons to thousands of Kurds inside of western Iran to potentially start an uprising. We will talk about it more soon, but first, let's talk about Montreal Matzah Bakery. Seder night. You just swallowed all those kazesim of matzah, right? And what happened? What happened exactly? You're feeling stuffed. Ungegessen, as they say. So now you can stick to the old tradition of lying on the couch and complaining or looking for meds to digest it. Or you can just buy Montreal matzah. Montreal matzah, they have regular, they have whole wheat, they have extra thin, spelt, or even oat matzahs. Now they have the perfect choice for your stomach. Make your Yom Tov easier. Find it in your local supermarket. Enter your zip code if you go onto montrealmatzah.com, or check out our Borough Park pop-up store, 4320 14th Avenue. Call them on 718-619-3661, Montreal Matzah Bakery. All right? Eating a kazayas doesn't have to be a punishment. From now on, it's not ke'ili yutzu, it's mamash yutzu, for those of you who got it. Ashrechem. Okay, President Donald J. Trump and the Secretary of State Marco Rubio and, of course, Secretary of War Pete Hegseth have been speaking constantly with reporters and giving press conferences to explain the military plan. Later today at 4:30, Hegseth and General Kane are about to address the press again. President Trump stated clearly, "We are going to destroy their missiles and raise R-A-Z-E, raze the missile industry to the ground. This is his quote. Secretary Rubio explained why America struck when it did, saying, "If we stood and waited for that attack to come, that attack to come first before we hit them, we would suffer much higher casualties." And reporters have asked if Israel was the one who instigated or initiated pushed the United States into the war. The United States says, no, it's not true. We actually pushed them. That's what Trump said. The United States military is destroying the Iranian regime in what the government is calling Operation Epic Fury. In a press conference yesterday, U.S. Secretary of War Pete Hegseth and Chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff General Dan Kane gave an update on the massive bombing campaign. Secretary Hegseth made his goals very clear. He said the mission of Operation Epic Fury is laser focused: destroy Iranian offensive missiles, destroy Iranian missile production, destroy their navy and other security infrastructure, and they will never have nuclear weapons ever again. Hegseth told reporters that America is winning without mercy. He explained that the Iranian regime has been defeated and the US is punching them while they're down, because that is what must be done. He added that death and destruction is what the regime will now know. The military leaders completely rejected the idea of fighting a politically correct war. Hegseth said there is no stupid rules of engagement and no holding back. He announced that the Iranian Air Force is totally destroyed and the Iranian Navy is now resting at the bottom of the Persian Gulf. Hegseth promised the American people that the military is hitting Iran with overwhelming force and making zero apologies. Iran discovers that death to America chants has a terrible return policy, I guess. Let's talk about your Shtreimul, shall we? Okay, now, I want you to understand something. When we talk about Shtreimuls, it's not just making your Shtreimul, renewing your Shtreimul. It's a serious thing. Your Shtreimul looks like a sack of potatoes, or I'm joking, not like a beaten up bear on your head. When it comes to Pesach, you need to look presentable. It's not so expensive. You don't have to buy a new Shtreimul. Don't break your bank or it's not a mortgage. 732-523-1559. Just give them a call. This week, if you mention on Edge, you get 10% off. But you have to schedule your Shtreimul renewal this week. No matter when it happens, but today is the time you call. So today is the day you call. Today and tomorrow. That's it. Last days, he said Parshas Kisisu, and that's it. 732-523-1559. All right. Sack of potatoes wasn't exactly that, but a sack is actually furry, so it may look like a Shtreimul. Okay, why am I even talking about it? Just go and renew the Shtreimul, don't talk to me about it. Right now, the United States of America's Air Force and the Israeli Air Force are in absolute control, like Hegseth calls it, the two most powerful and strongest air forces in the world. The IDF says they have dropped more than 5,000 bombs and now control the airspace, especially over the capital city of Tehran. Now, in a major moment, an Israeli F-35 fighter jet shot down an Iranian military plane over Tehran, right over Tehran. The Arab media, first of all filmed it and said, Wallahu Akbar, thinking that it's the opposite way around, that an Iranian flight has shot down the Israeli one, but it turns out to be, this is the first time an F-35 has ever shot down another plane in combat. And the first time Israel has shot down an enemy plane. Sorry, it's the first time why am I saying it so many times? First time Israel, Bichlal, shot down an enemy plane with an F-35 since 1985. Israel also announced they eliminated the head of the Special Operations Department for the IRGC, Yamach Shemam Rahman Morgahadam. His name is Morgahadam. What names they have, these guys. Anyway, they say this is the man who tried to plan an assassination attempt against President Trump twice. Iran's Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps, Yamach Shemam, is firing hundreds of ballistic missiles and kamikaze drones at neighboring countries. You know the kamikaze roll? Yeah, that's sushi roll. Same thing. I'm joking. It's not the same thing. Across the Middle East. Over the past few days, the Iranian regime has targeted the United Arab Emirates as well, and their neighboring countries, Saudi Arabia, Kuwait, Bahrain, and Qatar, and Iraq. In the UAE, the attack struck the cities of Abu Dhabi and Dubai, and as well Dubai. Debris crashed into the residential areas and a hotel, killing 3 civilians and injuring nearly 80 others. An Iranian drone also hit the American consulate in Dubai, starting a fire. In Kuwait, strikes hit the US embassy and a military base where 6 American service members were killed. Their identities have just been released this morning. In Saudi Arabia, drones attacked an oil facility and the American embassy in Riyadh. In Bahrain, a kamikaze drone slammed into a hotel in the capital city, injuring 2 people. Qatar was forced to shut down its massive natural gas export facility after an attack, and is suddenly not so friendly to Tucker Carlson anymore, or to his likings, or to the people of his liking, I guess, because they are saying very aggressive things against Iran. And multiple cargo ships have been hit by Iranian missiles near Oman. Meanwhile, Azerbaijan's president Ilham Aliyev strongly criticized Iran today after an Iranian drone attacked a city in his country. Drones struck an international airport terminal and landed near a school, injuring 4 people. President Aliyev said the attack was especially terrible because of a phone call he received just hours earlier. He explained that Iran's deputy foreign minister, who was appointed by Abbas Araghchi, by the way, Majid Taqid Ravanchi, called him this morning asking for a massive favor. The Iranian official needed Azerbaijan to evacuate Iranian embassy staff from Lebanon because Iran was unable to do it themselves. Aliyev immediately ordered a rescue plane to be sent and even refused Iran's offer to pay for it. In return for his help, well, he says Iran attacked his country. Aliyev called the strike dirty, cowardly and unmanly, adding that the stain will never be erased from their faces. Iran has denied launching the drones and blamed it on Israel. But Azerbaijan's military is now preparing for a possible response to Iran. Iranian drones struck the headquarters of Kurdistan Democratic Party of Iran. This is a PDKI in the Koya district, which is east of Erbil, Iraq. Multiple casualties are reported. We don't know more details. But meanwhile, the power is out everywhere in Iraq. The Iraqi government says the entire country is dealing with a total blackout. With Khamenei Yamach Shemoy dead, his son Mujtaba might take over. Right now, according to the US, well, according to Trump, the US, Israel, anyone who takes the job will be fired, literally. It's a very short part-time job, I guess. You get hired at 9 a.m. and then laid to rest at 3 p.m. Iran even had to cancel the 3-day funeral for Khamenei, Yamach Shemoy V'Zichroy. President Trump is directly calling on Iranian citizens to rise up and overthrow the government, the regime. He sent out a message to the Iranian people saying, when we're finished, take over your government. It will be yours to take. The US government wants local citizens to finish their job and take back their country, or they never will be able to do it again. This is their chance, he says. At the same time, pro-American Kurdish forces are preparing for a possible ground attack into Iran to help take down the regime. While Iran is being hit hard, they are still firing back. Ballistic missiles from Iran fell into Israel, setting off sirens in Yerushalayim, Tel Aviv, and across the center of the country. Most of them have been intercepted, while some of them, like this horrific Iranian missile attack, cluster bomb. Cluster bombs means where just one missile flies and explodes in midair, sending off several different rockets all over the place. So sad, so scary. In Beit Shemesh and killed 9 Yidden, Hashem Yinkendumim. The missile hit a residential building and crushed a public bomb shelter underneath a shul. There was also another attack in Tel Aviv that killed 2 more people. That brings the total number of victims in Israel by now to 11 since the war began. Let's pray for those who were injured. However, General Dan Kane says the threat is dropping fast. He says Iranian missile launches are down 86% and drone attacks are down 73% since the war began. The United States military has launched massive airstrikes on the Iranian city of Qom yesterday. Reports say this is the exact location where the Iranian regime, Yamach Shemoy, was getting ready to announce its new supreme leader. American forces are continuing their aggressive campaign, hitting the remaining terrorists before they can even officially take power again. This is not confirmed yet, but reports say the strikes completely destroyed the planned meeting site in Qom. Didn't kill them, but it ruined the entire building, ruining the potential announcement. But reports are coming out that they are now taking over residential areas like schools, buildings, to host their meetings and operations. So when America and Israel attack, they could say that they attacked the school. But Western officials, including Merz from Germany, who visited Trump recently, 2 days ago, who is backing Operation Epic Fury fully, believe that Iran will completely be empty of their supply of ballistic missiles in a few days if they keep shooting at this speed. The war is spreading fast. Iran has now attacked 12 countries since the start of the war. We listed it. An Iranian ballistic missile flew towards Turkey, and the Turkish military shot it down. This is a major escalation because Turkey is part of NATO alliance. In other news, the IDF is preparing for a potential new attack from the Houthi terrorists. Where have they been until now, right? Down in Yemen. In the north, the fighting with Hezbollah is much heavier than Israel has expected. An Israeli official admitted that they did not think Hezbollah Yamach Shemoy would attack this strongly right now. Sirens continued to sound across northern Israel today. Israeli ground troops have pushed at least 1 kilometer deep into Lebanon, taking control of 7 different positions. During the fighting, Hezbollah fired an anti-tank missile at an Israeli tank in southern Lebanon, leaving 2 IDF soldiers moderately wounded. To prepare for massive airstrikes against Hezbollah and Iranian IRGC Yamach Shemoy forces hiding in the country, the IDF issued urgent evacuation warnings across Beirut and several other major areas. Traffic has been building up because of that. People have been leaving. At the same time, they're talking about over 300,000 people. At the same time, the Lebanese government is taking strong action against the terror groups. Lebanese Prime Minister, Nawaf Salam, announced a total ban on Hezbollah military activities and ordered the group to hand over its weapons. The government also officially banned the IRGC, promising to arrest and expel any of their members found in Lebanon. French President Emmanuel Macron woke up. He's demanding that Prime Minister Netanyahu stop the ground attack in Lebanon and agree obviously to a ceasefire. Speaking of ceasefires as well, at the same time, China says it is sending a special messenger. His name is Zai Yun to try and stop the entire war between America, Israel, and Iran. President Trump is furious with America's allies in Europe. He just gave a new interview and strongly criticized the leaders of Spain and the United Kingdom. Trump threatened to completely cut off all trade with Spain because they refused to let the American military use their bases for the war before they agreed to. Obviously, now they agreed finally. Trump called Spain a loser and said America does not want anything to do with them. The president says Spain is very hostile to NATO military alliances and hostile to everyone else around them. He also pointed out that Spain is the only country that voted against the new 5% defense payment. He added, they don't even pay their agreed upon part, at all. In response, Spanish Prime Minister Pedro Sánchez said that his country, will not be forced into any war, and is officially saying no to a war. Trump also had harsh words, for British Prime Minister Keir Starmer, rightfully so. Starmer originally delayed letting the United States use British military bases to launch attacks from. Trump said he is very disappointed in British leader. He said the United Kingdom should be helping America fight Iran without question. Meanwhile, the stupid Prime Minister, I'll call him stupid because he is stupid according to a lot of people in England, is still living in a fantasy world. This morning, Starmer spoke out about the current conflict. If you listen to what he said, you'll tell me.
The long-standing British position is that the best way forward for the regime and the world is a negotiated settlement with Iran where they give up their nuclear
Do you understand what I'm trying to say to you? I don't think I have to explain much, but he says the best way forward for the regime and the world is to negotiated settlement where Iran simply gives up its nuclear ambitions. Well, hasn't that been tried? Anyway, back in Washington, the Senate voted down a resolution that was introduced by Senator Tim Kaine that tried to stop President Trump from continuing the war. If the resolution had passed, it would have legally forced Trump to stop military action against Iran, unless he got explicit permission from Congress. Now, Congress is the one to announce a war, to basically declare war. It did not pass. By voting down the resolution, the Senate effectively gave him the green light to keep striking. The conflict is causing massive disruptions around the world. Airlines are in chaos, with more than 23,000 flight cancellations globally. Here at home, gas prices just jumped 11 cents a gallon. Wall Street also took a hit, with the Dow, the S&P 500 and the Nasdaq all closing sharply lower as investors worry about the ongoing war. Right now, the United States and Israel are continuing their massive military campaign to crush the Iranian regime once and for all. The Middle East has completely changed in just a few days, and the situation is moving fast. We'll keep you posted, obviously, as it happens. In other news, the United States military just launched a new operation. While all this is going on, you can imagine, right? They don't have time for anything else. They have time. In South America, they are starting a major anti-drug trafficking mission in Ecuador to stop the cartels. We'll hear about it more tomorrow, I guess. Russian President Vladimir Putin used this opportunity. He says Ukrainian forces attacked a huge Russian gas ship in the Mediterranean Sea right near the coast of Libya. The ship was packed with 61,000 tons of liquid natural gas when it blew up and sank. Russia says Ukrainian drones launched from Libya hit the vessel. Meanwhile, the new war with Iran is completely changing the situation for Russia and Ukraine. Reports say the Middle East conflict could actually give the Russian military a major boost. If the war causes a global energy crisis, countries might be forced to buy more Russian gas. Plus, with the United States military focused on Iran, the flow of American weapons going to Ukraine is expected to slow down. Because of this, Ukrainian President Vladimir Zelensky says peace talks are officially on hold. He says negotiations with Washington and Moscow to end the war in Ukraine will only start once the situation in the Middle East calms down. Zelensky is already reaching out to Arab leaders, spending Wednesday on the phone with the King of Bahrain and Crown Prince of Kuwait. Well, they also have what to deal with now, Iran, because they're also busy with it, to discuss his expanding conflict. Let's talk about Protobite, shall we? 347-354-1237. Oh, sorry, I forgot to mention Montreal Matzah Bakery, of course. And of course, we shall not forget Protobite, 347-354-1237. And as well, Kliger. You can reach Kliger on 845-335-3343. You know what Kliger does already. YS Capital Group, the answer is always yes, 718-831-2168. Arrive Express for your taxi services in the upstate region of New York. 845-622-1111, 845-254-1111. That's Monroe. Okay, my friends, have a wonderful day. We'll see each other tomorrow. Erev Shabbos Kodesh tomorrow.
Your daily report of the news of the last 24 hours, powered by Yiddish24, provided to you by The Click.